Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, or DEI. Advocates are reacting after U.S. President Donald Trump escalated his campaign against diversity programs on January 21 by pressuring the private sector to join the initiative and telling government employees in offices administering such programs they would be placed on paid leave, which caused opposers to criticize.
I'm actually really surprised because Donald Trump is supposed to be a great businessman, and there has been decades of studies that have proven that DEI is good for business, right? DEI is not about affirmative action. It's about helping to co-create a culture and a workplace that everyone can thrive, regardless of your identities.
On Trump's first day in office, he issued a series of executive orders to end diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, which attempt to promote opportunities for women, ethnic minorities, LGBTQ+ people and other traditionally underrepresented groups.
For us to move forward, we have to learn from history, right? Because otherwise the history will repeat itself. So I think it just set us back because there are so many incredible talents, from people of color. They just do not have the equal opportunity from their other counterpart, right? So I think it just set us back. It's sad to see that this is what our country has become.
The Trump executive order seeks to dissuade private companies that receive government contracts from using DEI programs and hiring on the basis of race and sex, what the order called illegal DEI discrimination and preferences, and asks government agencies to identify private companies that might be subject to civil investigation. Worldwide News reports.
At the World Economic Forum in Davos, Ukrainian President Zelensky made a bold call for Europe to take a stronger stance in defending itself and ensuring peace after the war in Ukraine. In a conversation that followed his speech, Zelensky highlighted that at least 200,000 European peacekeepers would be necessary, referencing the size of the French military as a benchmark to prevent a future Russian attack should a ceasefire agreement take place.
Of 200,000, it's a minimum. Otherwise, it's nothing. Otherwise, it's something, like we had OSCE, and nobody knew where they can help you. Ми все одно не визнаємо окуповані території. Ми юридично їх не визнаємо. І тому це завжди ті чи інші території, вони для нас, поки ми туди не повернемось, а вони завжди будуть окуповані Росією.
Zelensky also mentioned that efforts were underway to arrange a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump, who recently returned to office. While Trump has vowed to end the war quickly, Zelensky made it clear that Ukraine would not accept Russian demands to drastically reduce its military.
Якщо Трамп буде готовий бачити Україну в НАТО, ми будемо в НАТО. Всі будуть за. І якщо президент Трамп не буде готовий бачити нас в НАТО, ми не будемо в НАТО.
He also emphasized Europe's need to be a more powerful global player, able to secure its own peace and security without relying on the U.S. Zelensky's message was clear: Europe must unite on defense and increase its commitment to security, potentially through higher NATO spending, to avoid being sidelined in the future. Worldwide News Report.
Concerns among Chinese tourists grew earlier this month on social media, after actor Wang Xing went missing near the Thai-Myanmar border, with authorities suspecting human trafficking by criminal groups, heightening fears over tourism and safety. For this, Thai government on January 22 released an AI-generated video, featuring Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra speaking Mandarin, aimed at restoring trust and confidence among Chinese tourists following safety concerns about visiting Thailand.
我留意到近期关于中国公民被诱骗至泰国周边地区诈骗窝点的新闻，已经引发了广大中国游客对泰国的安全问题和人口贩运的担忧。作为泰国总理，我可以向各位保证，泰国政府将所有游客的安全置于首要位置。因此，我已要求有关当局加强合作，共同提升安全标准， 必以最有效的方式打击跨国犯罪。
Shinawat said in the AI-generated Mandarin video that all agencies would be instructed to take decisive action against transnational crimes, strictly enforce laws on illegal immigration, and enhance systems to assist tourists.
泰国政府高度重视游客的安全，我们将努力与中国朋友加强沟通，并为所有游客建立信心。泰国已经张开双臂，欢迎所有在即将到来的农历新年期间来泰的中国游客。谢谢。
Tourism, a key driver of Thailand's economy, has rebounded strongly since the government waived visa requirements for Chinese visitors in 2023, boosting arrivals by 26% to 35.5 million, including 6.73 million from China, a 91% surge compared to the previous year. Worldwide News reports.
In Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, authorities have begun setting up large tent shelters to prepare for a possible surge of returnees from the United States. The shelters, which are expected to house thousands, are being constructed quickly and are set to be operational in just a few days. This move comes in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's promise of mass deportations, which could affect millions of Mexican immigrants.
Justamente México no tiene la capacidad para absorber esta mano de obra por varias condiciones, porque México, a pesar de que ha habido un aumento muy importante en términos del salario mínimo, más de 130%, pues no se equipara todavía con los ingresos que potencialmente ganaban.
With nearly 5 million undocumented Mexicans in the U.S., many from areas hit hard by violence and poverty, the scale of the deportation effort would be massive. However, experts warn that such an operation would take years to complete and require significant resources.
Si hay una situación de incertidumbre de lo que sucede en la economía interna y se le suma la incertidumbre con el tema de los aranceles que potencialmente pueden imponer en Estados Unidos a las importaciones mexicanas, pues estamos en un doble juego. Y además la economía mexicana pues hoy está en una etapa plena de desaceleración con una caída de su actividad económica que...
The shelters are just one part of Mexico's broader plan. Along with temporary housing, returnees will receive food, medical care, and help with obtaining identity documents. The Mexican government also plans to set up reception centers in multiple northern cities, including Tijuana and Matamoros, and provide transportation back to their hometowns. Worldwide News Report.
After declaring in Trump's inauguration speech that there were only two genders in America, and signing executive orders to crack down on immigrants, Episcopal Bishop Mayan Edgar Buddy pleaded with Trump, from the pulpit, to show mercy on people who were scared of what is to come.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you, and as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
After the assembly, Trump expressed his unhappiness outside the church.
What did you think of the service? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
Trump said that so-called bishop of the Washington National Cathedral owed an apology in a Truth Social post, said Edgar was a radical left hardline Trump hater, nasty in tone. She is not very good at her job, and she and her church owe the public an apology. On this matter, Edgar has not responded yet. Worldwide News reports.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and we will drill, baby, drill.
Following President Donald Trump's announcement of the U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement, the world faces a troubling future in the fight against climate change.
When the U.S. first withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, there was an extended notice process, which actually didn't take effect until shortly before Trump left office in 2020. This time, it's just a one-year notice.
While the U.S. will still attend negotiations, it will no longer have a voice in decision-making. As the second largest emitter of carbon dioxide, and the biggest historical contributor to emissions, the US withdrawal is expected to draw global scrutiny and weaken efforts to meet the crucial goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
What is different now from, for example, 2016 is that we are looking at overshooting 1.5 degrees, which of course brings to the forefront that much more ambitious global action on climate change is needed.
Without US participation, the global race to reduce emissions is likely to stumble further, especially as current progress is already off track. Trump's push for increased fossil fuel production, relaxed environmental regulations, and cutbacks on green policies could lead to a rise in greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, the Paris Agreement's Green Climate Fund, which supports developing nations in reaching climate goals, is also at risk.
And here, having the biggest economy, the second biggest polluter, pulling out of Paris, and it may carry over to other states who say, well, if the US isn't committing, we will also do less or less ambitious actions.
While former President Obama pledged $3 billion to the fund, Trump criticized it, and Biden had resumed contributions. However, with Trump back in office, it's expected that US support for the fund will be reduced, delaying vital progress in global climate efforts. Worldwide News Report.
Climate Accord.
Samsung Electronics unveiled its newest flagship smartphone on January 22nd, powered by Google's artificial intelligence model, hoping its upgraded AI features can reinvigorate sales and fend off Apple and Chinese rivals.
I'm delighted to announce that screen sharing and live video streaming is coming first to Android and the Galaxy S25 series. This means, in the coming months, you'll be able to ask Gemini to reason about the things you see, whether it's on your phone or the world around you.
Based on the size chart, a medium is equivalent to a size 38. However, since the jeans have a relaxed fit, you might want to consider sizing down to a 36 for a slightly more fitted look.
Samsung was faster than Apple in launching an AI-powered smartphone, but failed to regain its crown in the global smartphone market last year, squeezed by stiff competition with the US rival in the premium market, and with Chinese firms in the lower-end segment.
Our goal is to deliver personalized AI suggestions tailored to your unique lifestyle, while ensuring your data remains private. This requires a new way of thinking about the design of the user experience.
Galaxy S25 will offer a more personalized AI experience. For example, its Now Brief service, which makes recommendations to users based on personalized data that is stored and processed on the phone for privacy reasons, will display a suite of customized items such as calendars, news, and bedroom air temperature and carbon dioxide levels. Samsung kept the prices of its Galaxy S25 series unchanged at between $799 and $1,299. Worldwide News Reports.